Today on Ballistic Barbecue, I'm going to be making this look like this by cooking it on this. Let's get going. I have here a 28.8 pound beef shoulder clod. This is a beef shoulder clod, not a chuck roll, but I'm gonna have to make an admission right now. There was probably about a pound of fat and lean that was hanging on by a thread when I took it out of the cryovac, so that's gone, but it's still easily over 27 pounds. We're gonna do some very, very basic trimming on this piece of meat. The inspiration of this is some Texas barbecue that I'm guessing a lot of Texans don't even know about. Places like Shoemakers in Dallas opened up in 1926 after the owner decided he wanted to retire in 1975. That's when they demolished that building. But this is before brisket was king. They were cooking up beef shoulder clods, beef navel plate, and ham. Nothing else. So we have some silver skin right here, and we're just going to kind of trim up some ragged ends. On the underside, we also have some connective tissue I want to get rid of. But this is pretty thin fat. It's about 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to leave that on there. All right, and that's looking good. Let me clean up the surface here, and then we'll start seasoning this big ass piece of meat. Now, places like Shoemakers, they did not season their meat. Basically, they threw them on the pit, cooked them, and then as they were slicing the meat, they hit it with like a black pepper, kind of a mop. I'm going to use SPG just because I had some on hand that I mixed up a while back, and want to get rid of it. Time for a fresh batch, but I'm going to go pretty heavy. So this will be the one thing that, like I said, they did not do this. But they didn't cook it on a high-tech pellet cooker either, so I'll deviate a little bit. All right, let's let this set a little bit, let it kind of sweat through the rub, and fire up the pit. It's running off the Fireboard control system. I have my probe plugged in here. Let's power this beast up. Now, last night I programmed my cook into their app. I'll tell you what my plan is. This is going to be a long cook. I've done several shoulder clods on every type of cooker you can imagine. I got videos of them. I think I probably have more shoulder clod videos than anyone else on YouTube. Done them on my offsets, on other pellet cookers, other offsets. What I'm going to do is run my pit at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. We're old school, going, again, 1920s, 1930s style Texas barbecue. It's going to be overnight. I'm expecting it to probably be 24-hour cook, and I'm going for a target temperature to make it easy for myself, 203 degrees. Once it hits 230 degrees, the pit temperature is going to lower, and we're going to hold it at 160, just again until I'm ready to pull it. That's about it. Anyway, it's in the app here. Let's fire this thing up. And here's my program right here running. So now, like any smoker, I'm just going to let it come up to temp before we start cooking. I'll see you then. So it's been 24 minutes. This cooker is revved up and ready to go at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get this beast on the grate. All right. Boom. So we're cooking fat cap up. Get this probe into this big old lumbering piece of meat here. Now the difficult part is over with. The app is going to take care of the cook at this point. The Fireboard's going to be running everything. I will be, just taking peeks here and there and just monitoring things for myself. Just old habits never die. I want to talk about the smoke in this thing. And this is my first cook, but I did burn this in. And Russ and Jeff do a wonderful job of explaining what's going on here. But Lone Star Grill, they were working with Fireboard to basically get that controller to behave in a way to where this is putting out smoke like, I can say this, no other pellet cooker on the market. And It's a very clean blue smoke too. It's not, you know, white chalky looking smoke. It's amazing. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to put a scrim behind the stack and just show you what I'm talking about. See right here, you can barely see the smoke. I mean, it's clear, and that's what you want. Now let me put this black scrim behind it. See, blue as blue can be. It's gone. When I burned this thing in, I ran the pit for 6 hours, and it was putting out this smoke the entire 6 hours. So I'm really excited about this cook. See you guys in a bit. Okay, it's been a little over 7 hours. Now I put this meat on the cooker at about 10:30 this morning, and using the app to analyze the cook, it's going to be ready probably around between 11:30 and noon tomorrow. 26 hours and this beef shoulder is finally done. This LSG pellet smoker rocked this cook. So a little recap, I put it on at 10:30 in the morning yesterday. Before I went to bed, I topped off the hopper. It was about 5 inches lower than the full 40-pound load. I woke up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to get some time lapse of the sunrise, but as you can see, it's a storm, so that was kind of a waste of time. But it was about half full. So I'm guessing I probably came pretty close, if not using 40 pounds of pellets. But wow, this program worked really good. I ran a 2-step program, cooking at 225 degrees Fahrenheit the entire cook. I targeted the beef temperature at 203 and then set it to, once it hit 203, the app would readjust and bring it down to a holding temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cool. I did that for peace of mind. I knew it wouldn't be done when while I was sleeping, but I just wanted to see how it worked. And I let it run all the way to 203, and it changed itself to that holding. So it's again running at 160 right now, which again, you think about it, right now the internal temperature of the meat is higher than the pit's running at. So eventually they're just going to stabilize and you don't have to worry about it continuing. It's almost like holding it in a camera. So very cool. What I'm going to do now is show you this piece of beef. As you can see, I have killer bark, and a lot of this meat is turned into a beefy jello. So another thing I want to know is the smoke. It was just like you see here throughout the entire cook, just nice thin blue smoke continuously through the entire cook. And again, I can't say that I've seen that with any other pellet cookers I've ever owned. So very impressed with that. So I'm going to pull this off the pit, wrap it in foil, and drop it in a cooler, let it rest. I'm going to rest it probably 3 or 4 hours before I slice it. Every time I've ever cooked these, just because there are so many little cuts within this giant, subprimal piece of meat, blade steaks are in there, flat iron steaks. I know that some of the portions of this meat is probably going to be more like pulled beef rather than sliced, but I can also tell there is going to be a lot of sliced beef, which I think is cool. It gives you some variety. So I will see you when it's time to slice and try the shoulder. So due to a technical difficulty that was 150% my fault, I did not capture the taste test or my reaction, but rest assured that pellet grill kicked some butt on this shoulder. Thanks for stopping by.